The Hearts of Gold podcast is brought to you by the Grow and Share Network, produced by Off the Walter Media.
Welcome to Hearts of Gold. Today we have Mirika with us. Hi, Mirika.
Hi, Ms. Robinson. Hi, everyone.
Can you tell us about your Girl Scout Gold Award project?
My Girl Scout Gold Award project was called Orators, and it began with my desire to see literacy and children reading. And so through Orators, my ultimate goal was to engage youth with reading and literature. So I hosted workshops in my community. I did book drives. I interviewed authors. I did a podcast. And all of these elements kind of helped me engage youth within my community and greater communities with literature, and also ultimately allowed me to share my love for reading with them. And it was a really great journey to work with just youth around the world.
What was the inspiration for your project?
I love to read. Reading has been a huge part of my life since I was a child. And during the pandemic, which was around the start of 2020, February 2020 was when I was starting to do my Gold Award project. And I was looking for a passion or a cause that I wanted to commit my Gold Award to. And just observing my younger brother, who's 8 years younger than me, and kind of seeing how schooling has changed, I was really inspired to kind of reconnect younger children with books, because I feel like with technology right now, so many kids are on iPads, computers, and reading has kind of become it's fallen to the backside. And we've also started emphasizing STEM in our curriculum. And STEM is really great. I love STEM personally, but I think for me, reading is the core of everything that I do, because it gives you communication skills. And that was kind of something that really just clicked with me. And I was like, oh, I should definitely do my Girl Scout Gold Award project about books, because I love books. I love talking to other people about books. And I wanted to share that love for reading that I had with other people, especially the youth.
As you mentioned, your project has many components and has grown even since your official project ended. Can you tell us about what your project was, how it's grown, and all the different pieces?
So my project first started off as a series of workshops that I wanted to do at my library, partner with after-school programs, and just within my community. And then once the pandemic started, I realized that everything had to go to a digital format. So that's when I started. I created a website, and then I reached out to people online in youth groups, other youth who were kind of enthusiastic about reading. And I found this global community of readers who were also interested in my cause. And we kind of all just joined together. And that's how Orators kind of split off into many projects, because everyone had something that they were really interested in doing. So obviously the workshops were the core. We did book clubs, book discussions. We kind of paired interesting topics like Greek mythology or Egyptian architecture with concepts like persuasion. So we went through persuasion, informative writing, entertainment writing. We talked about figurative language, similes, metaphors in these workshops. We kind of paired them with interesting topics to introduce youth to these reading skills in a different way that might be more engaging than just traditional grammar books. So that was the core component of Orators, which is what I initially proposed. And then it grew into an author series where I was able to interview authors and talk about their books. And these are kind of up and coming authors. And it was just really great hearing from them. And most of the authors I got to talk to were women. So that was also just a really great thing. I definitely felt empowered after hearing their stories. And it made me realize not everyone has this traditional path to wherever they end up. And for me, that was just also very inspiring to hear about. And then something else I was really interested in was representation in literature, kind of highlighting and bringing awareness to stories that aren't typically the traditional narrative. So finding books with diverse characters, that became really personal for me. And so I started a podcast with some friends, and every month we had this revolving theme, such as Mental Health Awareness Month. We would talk about books that focused on mental health. for AAPI month. We found books that centered around Asian characters, Black History Month. So we kind of rotated through different themes, finding 3 to 4 books for each episode of the monthly podcast. And that was something we've been able to run for over 3 years now. We kind of also just provided book recommendations to children. They filled out forms, or their parents filled out forms kind of stating like their age range, interests, and we would get back to them with like 10 to 12 books that we think they would like. And in addition to that, we just created this like massive database filled with books that you can filter out by genre, by age range. And so that was also just really great, because creating such a huge database for just young adult and elementary school readers, I think, was something that I hadn't really seen before. And so to have it like so many books in one place, I think also just like kind of just supplemented the project, because it's like this capstone, or like this preserved like time box of books.
We'll put all the links in our show notes if people want to use these resources. And I really encourage them. There is really a lot there on your website. What was your biggest challenge during your project, and how did you overcome it?
In the early stages of my project, it was really difficult to first, it was the pandemic, and I was like, what am I going to do about my Girl Scout Gold Award project? And I was a freshman. It was probably like March 2020. Like, that's exactly when like everything shut down. And I was like, I can't do in-person workshops. And so I was thinking about it, and someone suggested turning it into a website. And so I did that. It was kind of hard at first, especially because I had no experience with using like a website builder, using like graphic platforms like Canva. I had no idea how to use these platforms, but I think just like spending so much time, I had a lot of time anyways because of the pandemic. And so I was just spending all my time working on my project, kind of building up the website. And then I was like, it'd be so great to get other people involved. Kind of like if we could at least like go maybe 1 or 2 states, and then it just turned nationally and then globally. Like my co-president, who's been with me since like the beginning, basically, she's from Singapore. I've never met her, but we met online because we were 2 youths who were like passionate about reading and like service. And we were like, oh, like this would be great. And it was like a beautiful like partnership that we were able to like kind of find. And then we started chapters in Indonesia, the Philippines, and Saudi Arabia. And I've met so many people from diverse backgrounds and cultures. And that was just like kind of a really great experience. I have like these lifelong friends just because of our shared passion for reading. I would say, yeah, definitely like the initial hurdles were just like getting it up and running and finding people. But once we got people involved, they'd recommend, oh, you should get so-and-so. They'd bring in their friends. And that was just like something really great because it kind of just grew on its own. I think this is kind of because, at least in the organization space, I've seen so many like STEM related projects, organizations, like mental health advocacy, but like I've never really seen things for reading. So I think that's something that really drew people to book readers and like the project that I was doing, which was just really lovely.
What's a favorite memory from your project?
Probably hosting a workshop with the National Library Board of Singapore. That was just a really cool experience. My co-president, who's from Singapore, another member of my team who's from Florida, and I ran the workshop. And just like leading up to the workshop, when we were going back and forth with the library board and just like actually running it like in the moment, it was such a great experience because we'd put so much time and planning into the actual workshop, and like people really enjoyed it. So that was just like a really, really like nice moment. And after that, I was like, yeah, like this is great. And it felt really rewarding.
You've mentioned a lot of the other young people that joined you on this journey that you picked up as you went along. Who else was on your team, and how did they help you?
Definitely want to shout out my co-president, Shannon, who's from Singapore. She was really helpful we both kind of, since I was in the US Eastern time zone and she's in like Singapore, so like the Asia time zone, that's how we kind of really like were able to manage like just expanding this like a global organization, and that was really great. Aya, who is from the Philippines, she's been my podcast host, and I really love working with her on our monthly episodes, and we just like love talking about books. And sometimes like a 1 hour brainstorming session turns into like 3 hours on Zoom, because like we're friends outside of just like the organization now. So we talk about school, we talk about music, we talk about books. And so that's been like just a really nice friendship. Elizabeth, who's from Florida, she was one of like a really like close person on Book Orators, and she really helped us like get the book list up and running. So many people have had such a big role on Book Orators that like for every team, I've just been able to meet so many people, and I feel really lucky too that I was able to meet so many people worldwide, and that really just also broadened my horizons, like culturally and globally, because it's very different. Like life for me, or like the values and things that I hold are very different in other countries. And so now when I look at the news, I'm thinking more about like my friends, and it's actually very personal for me when I hear about things going on in other countries.
What did you learn about the Gold Award process itself that perhaps you didn't know going into it that would be helpful for future Gold Award Girl Scouts?
I didn't really realize how flexible the Gold Award project is. You can really use like something that you're passionate about and have an impact and have an impact on your community. You can turn anything that you really care about, like a cause or an activity, and you can share it with others. And I think that's the best part about the Gold Award project. There's no real limit on what you can do. The entire process really helps you plan it out pretty well. And when I was doing the proposal, I was thinking about data, research, and that kind of also solidified the mission of Book Orators. So like if you really put time and like thought into your proposal, I think it will be a really meaningful experience. Like I started my Gold Award project freshman year, and while I was done like with the required hours freshman year, I kept it going until like senior year. And in college, I'm hoping to at least like start a chapter or do something related to what I've been doing with Book Orators in the new city that I'll be part of. So that's like something I didn't really realize going into the process. But you can make it as big as you want. You can scale it to be a global project. You just have to kind of like have this passion and like this, like the mindset to want to make your project bigger. And you can definitely do it. Like it's just limitless.
What other Girl Scout experiences have you had?
So I did my Bronze Award, Silver Award, and Gold Award. So doing like the award journey through Girl Scouts was really like, it's had a really big impact on me personally and committed me to service and instilled like this love for volunteering and being part of my community and engaging with others. I did take action journeys across my Girl Scout journey with my troop. My town hosts like an Earth Day cleanup. So with my troop, we would be some of the main organizers each year. And that was really great because we'd clean up this local park and we'd have so many organizations involved. And then we also helped out with food drives in my community for a local food pantry. We caroled at a veteran's home in the like over like the Christmas holidays. And obviously being a Girl Scout cookie seller was a huge part of my Girl Scout experience as well.
What's your favorite cookie?
I have to go with Thin Mints, though. I will go for anything.
I'm a Thin Mint girl too. What's in your future?
Actually, this fall, I'll be going up to Boston, where I'll be studying at Harvard University. So I'll be majoring in biology, most likely, with like a minor in government or economics. Right now, I want to do something that kind of lies at the intersection of like biology and service. So like healthcare seems pretty aligned with what I want to do because I get to directly work with patients and help them. But I'm still like open to exploring if I can help people through policy work with nonprofits. It's kind of a little up in the air, but right now I'm leaning more towards healthcare.
Is there anything else you have to share with the audience?
Being a Girl Scout and completing your journey as a Girl Scout, it has such a big impact on you, whether or not you realize it now. Reflecting on the skills and the personal growth I've gone through as a result of my Girl Scout journey, I've definitely become more confident. I've gained stronger leadership skills. I'm able to talk to people, reach out to like organizations and people I didn't really think I could really approach at the beginning of my Girl Scout journey. And the Gold Award seems like this really like daunting thing that you keep hearing about. And I know a lot of girls might be like scared of like taking that initial step, but definitely like take it from me. When you start the process, it gets so much easier if you just put in like 15 minutes a day towards working towards your proposal. And then when you're working on your project, you just need to do at least 15, 20 minutes a day for planning. And then it will be this really rewarding journey that you can go on.
How do you make your s'mores?
First, I definitely want to toast my marshmallows to be like golden brown, not too burnt, not too like still like mushy, gooey on the inside, but like the perfect like marshmallow roast has to be like golden brown. Then obviously chocolate and graham crackers, you slide it all in and then you snack. The marshmallow roasting is the key part to making a s'more though.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure to click follow or subscribe so you always know when new episodes are released. Power your passion and conquer your challenges.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to be on the show to share your story of how you earned your Gold Award, reach out and send an email to growandsshare@outlook.com. Be sure to catch up on our previous shows on any of your favorite podcasting platforms, as well as view the full video versions at youtube.com/Cheryl M. Robinson. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.